Hi guys, and today I'm going to be looking at the players who are out of contract in the summer and pretty much say if I want them to stay or I want them to go. So yeah, so Labour's for the first season was our like backup goalkeeper. This is his first season at the club now. Then last season he was first choice where he played pretty much stuff. I think he played 40 games in League One, kept it in clean sheets, and to be honest, he didn't really do a bad job. He did make a few mistakes, but probably did let us down in the end. He was this season dropped back down to number two after Ford Rothman came in, and overall, but I wouldn't say he has been a bad goalkeeper as he did well in the cups normally. He was absolutely brilliant against QPR that got us to the quarterfinals before getting beat off Arsenal. But if I had to think about it, I probably would let Labour go in the summer because he isn't going to get any better if you get what I mean. Where I think this is where it's going to be for the rest of his career. I think he's 29, it's all he idiot. He wants to play football, and if I'm honest, I do think quite a few League One clubs would take him as their number one. So yeah, Bailey White. I think that if you asked me this a few weeks ago, it would bring a totally different answer on Bailey White. But I think he's been playing well recently. He's been absolutely outstanding. Got the assist for the third Roster goal on Thursday. I mean, and I think that I would keep Bailey White and offer him another contract. As I think as well, if we get promoted, I think he's a player who, after debating, I think could hang in the championship if you get what I mean. Got vital championship experience, what will help us. I think that if we're going to championship, like I've said, he could hang, and if we're still in League One, he's still a very good League One centre back. So yes, I would keep Bailey Wright, give him another contract. So yeah, Tom Flanagan. Yes, again, I would give him another contract. He's another one where if you asked me at the start of the season, would I give him a new contract? No, I would have been saying I would have let him go with a year left on his contract. But this season, Flanagan's been absolutely outstanding. For me, probably if I had to pick up player of the season so far, defence so well, being consistent and being injury free, took Callum Doyle under his wing. So I think I probably will keep Tom Flanagan regardless of what division we're in. Whether he's the type of player whether if we went up he would start in the championship, I don't have a clue, but he would definitely at the very least be a good squad player if you get me. So I would keep Tom Flanagan. So yeah. Ahmed Jamali, they completely want to sit on the fence for. I don't have a clue if you get me. As he's been out injured for the majority of 2 years at Sunderland or 18 months so far. What is the same really? But we'll just have to see how the second half of the season goes with him, and if he's good enough, of course, maybe go down the road, give him another year, I guess. But if he isn't, you can let him go. So yeah, Jordan Willis, this is another same who, another player who's been out in for most of his time at Sunderland. The first season in League One, well, not in League One, but his first season he was absolutely fantastic. If you get what I mean, was one of our best players. I think I gave him my player of the season that year. But since then he has been injured, and I think that I probably would let Jordan Willis go in the summer if you get what I mean, because he's too injury prone. I imagine he'll be on a day from whack as well of weirdness, and I think as well because he's not going to play the same. I think asking him to come back after I think 16 to 18 months out and play a high division is a bit too much to ask. I think that he'll get a League One club easily, and I hope he does well for the rest of his career. So yeah, Lyndon Goots, I think he's a player who if you ask fans a couple of weeks ago, a bit Bailey White, I think it might be a different story. But the fact that he's playing well, I probably will give him a new contract and keep him regardless of what league we're in again. And I think Goots got a lot of things going for him to get a new contract that as well. He's been here since he was 10 years old, being for the academy. He's stayed loyal. He'd had chances to leave and he's decided to stay, if you get what I mean. And as well, he's versatile where I think he can play everywhere, but in goal and centre back, it's a lot where that can free up a player or two, if you get what I mean, and can maybe invite you to go and get better player in a certain area because we've got that cover. And as well, I still think Gooch is a player with value. If he ever stressed the desire to leave the club, you would still be able to get a million and a half from. So I think factoring all that into consideration, why wouldn't you keep Goats if you got main account like Sunderland? He might only be a squad player in the Championship because if I'm honest, I do think he deserves a chance in the Championship because he didn't get the last time we were there if we go up. So yeah. Josh Hawks, this is a funny one. I know I pretty much said I knew one, I wasn't going to give it answer to. Two with Arnold Jamali, but Josh Hawks is out on the one at Tranmere at the minute, and from what I've heard, he did okay. Got a few goals, got a goal and 3 assists. And I think Josh Hawks did one where if we go up, I probably wouldn't give him a new contract. I probably would let him go and get on with his career. But I think if we're in League One, maybe give him another year, like the 2 years, say if he'd ready to step up to League One, maybe just as a squad player. But yeah, so Josh Hawks, I think it depends on like what league we're in next season. So yeah, either McGeady, I think McGeady's been like a good servant for us and a good player on the whole. Like he's another one who stayed loyal when he probably could have left. Look at the time he was pretty much kicked out and things, but I do think he is catching up to McGeady, especially when I don't think when he played this season he's necessarily been great. I mean, in terms of all of his goals, this season has been from the penalty spot, if you get what I mean, and I do think that I would let McGeady go. He's been a good player for us being a good servant, and I think everything's just mounting up, like being injured a lot. I don't think he like hasn't been used right. I don't think the season where pretty much every time he's been available played, but and I just think there's now better players than Ian McGeady in our squad, so I probably would let Ian McGeady go in the summer. Bentley Kimpioka, he obviously did score a good goal against Sheffield Wednesday last week, but on the whole I probably would let Kimpioka go still because like he's a player who hasn't really got good attitude, the amount of disciplinary like breaks I think are being a joke where like in summer he turn up late for training if you get what I mean and stuff that if you look he's got the idea as a good goal, he's like haven't had a great time to Torquay and Southend, but he barely got picked for them if you get what I mean. So I mean, and then you obviously had the last contract saga with him where you didn't know if he was going to sign. So if I'm honest, I probably would let Ben Kimpioka leave in the summer, and he might be one where we might be looking back on in like a few years saying, "Oh, I wish we kept him," but he's 22 and he's been here the 4 years, but being in League One and he hasn't really like broke in, if you get what I mean, where he's only being a player who's only got really a chance to last beauty and because of injuries. So yeah. Ian O'Brien, I would let him go. I wouldn't be surprised if O'Brien left in January because he just isn't really good enough to play for this club, if you get what I mean, where he doesn't get, I don't really know if he, to be honest, I don't know if he's the striker or number 10. I personally think his best position is number 10, but he doesn't go enough, he doesn't get enough assists. He isn't really good on the ball, if you get what I mean. And what I do like about O'Brien, he works hard and gives it 100%. What would be good for like a team that in League One, because I do think he's good enough to play in League One. I just don't think he's good enough to be like a team like Sunderland in League One. So I think and he best played this season as another thing. He's not. I don't think John's a big fan of him. So I do expect O'Brien to leave, whether it's in January or if he stays for January, he will leave at the end of the season when his contract expires. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, and Will Grigg, what else is there much to say? Will Grigg will leave in the summer. I mean, we might try and get permanent move this month if you can, like try and make some money. It just hasn't worked out from the sun and didn't want to be here, and yeah, pretty much there's no point in getting rid of Will Grigg. So yeah, the next time you say, mate, don't worry, because this video is going out on Friday, don't worry, I predict at 11 the player like Wickham tomorrow will still be out later tonight, if anyone's wondering. So yeah, so do you agree with the only 3 players I would keep really is Frank and Mike and Goats? Leave your opinion. So yes, that's the end of the video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, view, comment and see. Yeah.